All right, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? How's it going? I am Is There No One Else? I'm bringing you another build video today. This one will be covering the Magicka Templar once again. This is an older build. I've updated it for Clockwork City. This is the Galactica build on my YouTube channel. As if you guys are nerds and you guys like Battlestar Galactica like I do, Galactica is like a huge ship that basically just supports everybody around it. It's got really good defenses. It's old as shit. It basically just does everything it can to stay alive. That's what this is. This is a very tanky healer build, mostly for small scale PvP. It'll work everywhere. But before I dive into the build and the changes that we made, I wanted to just discuss a couple things because I got some feedback on my last video, and I totally get it. But in my opinion, light armor is better for a healer. I mean, it makes sense. However, your ability to run light armor depends on who you're running against, who you're running with, like how many people you're running with, how good they are at keeping the attention off of you, and how many people you're fighting against on average. Like if you're in a really small group like I typically am, 2, 3, 4 people. I mean, the most I've played with in the last 4 months is 5. You're typically going to be fighting severely outnumbered topside. If you're in a 10-man group or a 12-man, 15, 20-man group, it's going to be a lot more rare that you're going to run across severely outnumbered 3-to-1 fights, 2-to-1 fights, stuff like that. It's just not going to happen as much because you have more people. And so because you're not running across those big outnumbered fights, you can utilize the light armor passes more, you can heal a group more. You have more functionality as a healer due to, your group composition. When you are running in a very small group, and you're 4 people and you run across 15, everybody in your group kind of takes on multiple roles. Like you have to be tanky enough to survive a 15-man group, or you have to be kitey enough to survive, or and you have to also have damage to be able to kill these people. And so you can't optimize your build because your optimization is being able to be more well-rounded. Whereas in a bigger group you're optimized for damage or healing or whatever. So this is going to work better in small scale groups because basically what's going to happen is, like, let's say I'm running in a 4-man group and I'm on this build. Well, I'm a healer. My buddies get focused. We run across a group of 10. My buddies get focused. I heal them. I keep them alive. All of a sudden, everybody on the other team sees that I'm the one healing and keeping everybody up. I'm guarding the people that they're trying to focus. They realize they have to take me out. Well, now my role goes from healer to tank, and I have to then change my role. I have to then be tanky enough to survive while my damage dealer friends are killing everybody else in their group. And so the better I can heal and keep everybody up, the better support I have. But then when the tables turn and I have to be a tank, I also have to be tanky enough to take on large amounts of people that are trying to take me out first. So that's kind of the basis of this build. That's why I made it. I'm going to dive into the gear. I'm going to go through the gear, skills, CP, all that, like I normally do. And then I'll go through an explanation for why I'm running what I'm running at the end if you guys are still curious. So let's get right into it. We're running a Master's Resto staff. You do not have to run a Master's Resto staff here. You can run a VMA staff. We are running mutagen and we are running healing springs. I like this for the stamina return when we use grand healing. But if you want the Magicka sustain off of crits, off of mutagen, absolutely VMA staff is more than fine. Those are the 2 best to run. I'm running this for the stam because everybody can use stam in PvP, so it comes in handy. We're also running 5-piece warlock on the back bar, 3 jewelry, 2 recovery, 1 cost reduction, and then sword and shield. And the reason we're running this is because we want to have a lot of the more Magicka we have, the more Magicka sustain we have. The more we can cast Breath of Life, the more we can cast our other heals, the longer we will stay alive when we're really just getting hammered. And so I like this slightly more than Lich. If you want to run Lich, you can run that. Those are the 2 best ones. Transmutation, in my opinion, isn't going to give enough recovery for this specific build. You'd have to tweak a couple things. Transmutation's a very good set, but for what we're trying to do with this specific build, I don't think it's as good as Warlock or Lich. But you make your choice on which one you prefer more. I prefer Warlock. Yeah. As far as the monster set, we're running the monster set that is an ultimate. We're running Earthgore. Earthgore, it's really powerful. It's got a really long cooldown, but what this works so well at in a small group situation is when somebody in your team really is getting focused hard, this basically says, no, they're not going to die. You know, and it coordinates very well when, like, all of a sudden somebody drops like 2 or 3 ultimates to nuke somebody. This goes off, they don't die, and then, you know, they don't have ultimates anymore to burst. It's off a cooldown. Now you can keep everybody healed. This will go off again basically when they have ultimates again. Really strong. This really works for us as well. You know, if all of a sudden they focus us and we drop below 50% health, when this goes off, this just basically means, like, you know, we can do other things. Like, sometimes when you're really getting focused, all you can do is slam Breath of Life to try and stay up, and you're just block casting Breath of Life, you're block casting Breath of Life trying to stay up, and, you know, you have a bunch of dots on you and you can't do anything else, because if you do, you die. Well, when this goes off, then you can hit your Purge, you can hit your Mutagen, you can hit your other heal over times, and then you could go back to Breath of Life. I mean, it's just a very nice... It's really good. Chokethorn provides more healing. I mean, if we look at this, I mean, there's options. Chokethorn provides more healing. You know, if you look at it, it's 15% chance. It does 2170 health, 21,710 health over 4 seconds versus 33,294 over 3. But this can happen every 10 versus every 35. This is good for just healing a lot of people. However, this isn't when you need it. You know, when somebody drops below 50% health, it's nice when they need it. Troll King's also good. You could absolutely run Troll King. Now, this is when they drop below 50% health, they get health recovery. Not as good as against vampires. This doesn't protect one person the same way Earthgore does. So, I mean, if you still like Troll King's very good. It just depends on your group composition, really. But Earthgore for the oh shit is very nice. And then we were running 5 Iron Blood. I was running this last patch. I tried a few other sets. I tried Bastion of the Heartland for tankiness. I tried light armor, fortified brass. I did a couple other sets just to see if I could take this off. And I just like Iron Blood better. You get major protection for 10 out of 15 seconds. We do get reduced movement speed, which it's unfortunate sometimes. However, the fight's going to revolve around us typically anyways. You know, when we're in a 5-man group and everybody sees that we're the healer, you know, we're not going to be really moving all over the place. All of a sudden, we're just going to be slamming heals and we're going to be block casting. So our inability to move with this build isn't as big of a deal in most situations. So the reduced movement speed's whatever, but the major protection's nice. And it's for 10 out of 15 seconds, which is very valuable. Some people have said, you know, why don't you run Pirate Skeleton instead of that, because Pirate Skeleton is the same proc, except it's a 2-piece set instead of 5-piece. And that's true, but this also reduces our healing received and our health recovery. So Pirate Skeleton it's good. It does do the same thing. It lasts for 12 out of 15, so that's nice. It's got the same proc. You know, it's almost the exact same thing, but a 2-piece instead of a 5-piece. But the reduced healing received is the issue. We can heal better with Iron Blood compared to this, and then it also allows us to wear a pretty nice healing monster set like Earthgore. So, yeah, that's the gear. As far as skill goes on our Sword and Shield bar, Extended Ritual, Breath of Life, Elusive Mist, Channeled Focus, Stalwart Guard. This is going to be on both of our bars. Basically 30% damage reduction. We also give them Minor Force, so the person we're guarding does 10% more damage. Very valuable to them. For whatever reason, this 30% damage reduction feels like it's like 80% damage reduction. It's really powerful. Remember, on this bar we're running Remembrance. This is the healing ulti. The other nice thing about this, and you know, I'll talk about this in a little bit, but this skill lasts for 4 seconds, but you get major protection for 10 seconds. So, let's say your Iron Blood goes off, you have major protection for 10 seconds, it disappears, You pop your healing ulti, you have major protection. You get major protection for 6 seconds after your healing ulti. Then Iron Blood goes off again. So you can actually have, with this ultimate, you can actually have major protection up a lot more than 66% of the time. You know, it's very strong. So it helps you stay alive while you're healing everybody, and then it also helps you stay alive after you're done casting it. On our resto bar, we're also running Remembrance, but it is going to go to resto ulti. I'm slowly but steadily leveling it. I haven't gotten there yet. We'll probably go to Life Giver for the major protection and major or minor force as well. You know, just really nice for one person, and that person heals, and then you don't have to guard them. Basically, they have the buff. You can guard somebody else. You can protect them. Just another ultimate to have, but for now we're running Remembrance on both bars because I don't have it yet. Stalwart Guard, Purifying Light. This is our only damage, well, one of our only 2 damage skills in our bar. This scales off our max Magicka. It doesn't scale off our spell damage, so it doesn't matter that we're a healer. This will still do okay burst to targets, so this is how we're going to help people in our group. We can say, hey, focus this guy, put Purifying Light on them. Everybody in our group focuses them down. Also, what it does when the effect ends, you also get a small health bonus. So this heals as well when the effect goes off. So it does some damage, and it also heals. So very valuable. Mutagen, very cheap heal over time, very long range. The reason we're running Mutagen is it removes one harmful effect, as well as do a burst heal if one of your people you're healing drops below 20% health. So when you're going into a group, you're going to try and make sure everybody has Mutagen on them. If all of a sudden one of them drops below 50%, Earth Gore is going to go off. If one of them drops below 20%, they're going to get that little burst heal. It may be just enough to keep them out of executes so they don't die right away. They can react, they can get up, get back in the fight. Luminous Shards, this is our other only damage skill, but this is our support skill to give Magicka and Stamina users resources back when they need it. Not going to do a ton of damage, but you can put it down when one of your guys need it, and they consume it, then you put another one up. It'll just be part of the rotation. And then Healing Springs. Healing Springs is a very big AoE heal area. So if all of a sudden you're with 4 or 5 people and you see a group and you want to go in, you basically kind of stay in the back and you just do your yellow brick road of bullshit and keep them alive because it's a super cheap skill, and they don't really go down. Since they're going to be healed to full the whole time, they can really focus on going on the offensive because they know that you're going to keep them alive. And when your group can go on the offensive like that, the more effective they're going to be in taking out larger groups that you're outnumbered by. As far as CP goes, 66 in a Warlord, 4 in a Siphoner, 76 Arcanist, 61 Shadow Ward, 23 Tumbling, 30 Elia Expert, 100 Elfborn, 100 in a Blessed. We're a healer, so we want to really stack those. 50 Resistant, 51 Ironclad, 37 Hardy, 37 LA Defender, 2 in a Thick Skin, 53 Quick Recovery. We are a Stage 4 Vampire. We are running the Atrodoc Mundus for Magicka Recovery, and we are running Tri-Food. Our stats look like this. We're running Prismatics on just about everything. So we want to really buff our stamina, health, and Magicka pools. Prismatics allow us to have all that. The longer we can block cast, the longer we can stay. The bigger our pools are, the better this is going to just help us overall. You see we have very high spell resistance. Our physical resist is very high. Our crit resist is solid. We're at cap for spell resistance on both bars, which is nice. Our Magicka recovery is good. As you see, we're at 1851 on this bar. We're at 1700 on the other bar without a potion. That's not counting our channel focus, which is another 500, so we're at 2300. That's not counting our Warlock proc, which is another 300, 350-ish recovery. That doesn't show up. It's just a burst Magicka amount. So we do have like 23 to 2500 Magicka recovery. So that's the total build. As far as like how we're going to use it, let's pretend like there's a bunch of enemies in this corner here. We're gonna buff up our group. We're gonna make sure we hit them all with Mutagen. We're gonna go in, and we can, when we go in heavy, and we'll just kind of stay in the back. We'll do Healing Springs. We'll kind of keep them alive. If all of a sudden we get focused, you know, we want to get our mutagen, we want to get our channel focus down because that's going to give us a lot of stuff we're going to purify, and then we're just going to be on this bar, and we'll, oh sweet, now he's attacking us, perfect. So then we'll just, you know, block cast Breath of Life, occasionally get a heavy attack to get our stam back, and we'll just go on the defensive here. And if they stop focusing us for a minute, we'll get our mutagen heals back up, you know, we'll get our other heals down, and we'll go back on the defensive once again. Very strong for just support heals, but it's also very strong for being tanky. So there have been a few times this last week when I've been playing this build where, you know, people are stuck in a choke, you know, like it's the big group on group battle, and, you know, and I've been trying to test to see how tanky I am, but it's a big group on group battle, and your group is, you know, flirting around standing in a choke point, and, you know, standing in a choke point is just a way to die, and you have to push through choke points in order to really do something about it. And so, you know, basically what I would do is, you know, I'd come in, I'd misform through the choke point, everybody would focus me, and then I would pop my remembrance. And at this point, I'm really not dying no matter how many people are hitting me, and so then everybody else sees that I'm not dying, and then they get the courage to kind of come through. So you can be the frontline guy that's really pushing the group along if you have to be. You can be the back, you can be the support character that's in the back, kind of just healing everybody as well. So it's very versatile in that way. You have good Magicka recovery, but just remember to always keep your channel focus down. That's going to help with your sustain quite a bit. You know, run around with this, keep your resistances up as well. I mean, it just makes sense to keep your channel focus down. But yeah, we have very good Magicka recovery. Due to all of our heals, our heal over times, we have good healing. It's not going to be as good of healing as somebody in light armor or running like Sanctuary or the healer set or anything like that. But our survivability is very, very high with this build, since we can have major protection up a large chunk of the time. So if you guys want to see clips of this, I can post it. I don't know I don't know what classifies as like exciting healer clips, you know. So I haven't really recorded me running this. I just kind of laugh when I run across 4 or 5 people and they can't kill me, and, you know, then another group comes in and then they wipe them. So that's the build. If you have any questions or comments, please provide it in the section below. You know, if you have ideas to make it better, I'm not the best healer by any means. This is just kind of what I theory crafted. You know, for what I kind of wanted for the size groups that I run, and I've looked at a lot of sets, but I haven't looked at everything. So if you guys have an idea, you know, I'd love to hear it. I'd love to hear your opinion and, you know, what you kind of think. So thank you for watching. Have a nice day.